A very good afternoon to you, and welcome to the Fixed Wing Guide channel with me, Stuart Lomas. I hope I find you well on this rather unpredictable day here in Manchester. It doesn't really know what to do with the weather at all. We are constantly windy. It's poured down with rain throughout certain portions of today, and now it's gone quite nice, so who knows. I actually wasn't going to make a video today at all. But I made the mistake of going into the Everyday Watch Collectors page on Facebook and noticed in there just the ongoing confirmation of the sort of mentality that is out there right now. The title of the video kind of says it all. Obviously, you've read the title, which is, you know, bullshit, barraging, belittling, and bullshit. It's the kind of attitude that so many so-called watch stroke horology stroke horology experts seem to have this attitude of being able to talk down to people, to believe that their advice is indeed gospel, handed down by God himself in some form of inscribed stone tablet that the potential watch buyer should take note of, inwardly digest and live by for the rest of their lives. If people don't follow said guidelines, they are barraged with abuse, they are brought down to their knees, and they are belittled in front of their peers in such Facebook groups as the Andy Hunter Watch World and also the Everyday Watch Collector page. And people seem to think that this is perfectly okay to do so. If somebody wishes to buy a watch, and there, as we all do, we all have that itch to buy a watch, and they don't want to or cannot avail themselves of thousands of pounds or thousands of euros or thousands of dollars to buy a timepiece which is worthy of the viewing of and the wearing of and the praise of these so-called watch experts, then that's perfectly okay. If they want to go out there and spend money in the tens of pounds or the hundreds of pounds for something that takes their eye, something that they think would look perfectly adequate on their wrist, thank you very much, and it would satiate that itch for a little while whilst other things are dealt with, and that they then at some point can afford a better quality watch. What kind of brought this to book was somebody on the Facebook page, somebody was asking for advice, and somebody suggested that they maybe should save up a little bit more and buy a decent dog shit brand such as an Omega Speedmaster. Well, being kind of an Omega fan but trying not to bring my axe out to grind it, this person needs to get some form of grip on their view of reality. The problem that they've got, there's a lot of people have this bee in their bonnet, that if you do not immediately go to Rolex, Patek, a JLC or some other off-the-cuff posh brand, that you are not worthy to be called a watch collector. If you have a number of watches and you keep them well and you enjoy them and you wear them with pride, you have a collection of watches, so by definition you are a watch collector. And the problem that you've got entering this little community here is that you will get a certain group of people who feel perfectly justified in trying to bring you your financial standing, your view of watchmaking, or perhaps in their view horology, down to a level where they can barrage you with complete nonsense and bullshit about what watch you should buy, even though perhaps the watch that they're recommending is not only out of your financial reach right now, but it will always be outside your financial reach, because you, as the potential watch buyer, are far too sensible to actually spend such a silly amount of money when you have other responsibilities in your everyday life. So I'm coming to the conclusion over time that people who take note of the self-appointed watch expert gurus out there really should take a step back and look at themselves in the mirror. Maybe ask a little bit that where did they start off? What was their very, very first watch? Have they ever been in a situation where money has been a real problem? Maybe they could possibly demean themselves by perhaps looking at a Rolex Submariner and comparing it to, let's say, a homage to a Submariner. Maybe, you know, a Christopher Ward, or, God forbid, a Invicta Pro Diver, let's say. And see whether somebody who can't afford a Submariner may get the same kind of pleasure about having some form of homage Submariner on their wrist, maybe via Steinhardt or somebody like that, and get off this high horse where they can feel that they are perfectly justified in giving what they consider to be enlightened advice to people who may well not be in such a secure situation as they are regarding finances. If you were fortunate enough to be financially secure, and you've been fortunate enough to be financially secure for all of your life, you are an exception, people. You are an exception to the rule. Most of us who wear and buy wristwatches are not financially secure. We save and scrimp and buy when and where we can. It's as simple as that. If you have been fortunate enough, you need to step back and count your blessings and stop believing that you can sit on your high horse and just give out generally to the people who are trying to get on the first ladder of the watch collecting scheme of things, which is a very fair way of putting it. But then again, I guess you're not about fairness, are you? You're about shouting at people and making your voice heard over everybody else. And if everybody else does not fall within your regime of watch collecting excellence, then they don't deserve to be in your company. I believe that's a correct assessment, isn't it? As I said, I wasn't going to make a video at all today, but I find that there seems to be an acceleration in this pontification of complete and utter bullshit, which those who should know better don't seem to know better, and talking out of your arsehole seems to be the best thing you can possibly do. Count your blessings if you have no other squeezes on your bank account. Try to take a step back and think about the people who live in the real world, who potentially struggle from day to day, week to week, month to month, and year to year. And at some point within any one financial year, perhaps, just perhaps, they can pull enough money together to buy something that will look nice on their wrist. And what they buy is nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with them and how that makes them feel. And it doesn't matter whether that watch has cost tens of pounds, hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds, or tens of thousands of pounds. We all get the same sense of satisfaction from that. So, self-appointed watch gurus, take a step back and just basically calm down. You're going to give yourself a heart attack because at some point people are just going to stop listening. That's what happens with people such as yourselves who feel that it's perfectly alright to pontificate. Anyway, if there's anybody watching this who considers themselves an expert watch guru, then by all means get in touch. In fact, make me a video and tell me why I'm wrong, because actually I'm not wrong at all. It isn't your place to tell us, me or anybody else, what we should do. If you have knowledge that will benefit other people, it is your responsibility to share it. Point out the pros and the cons, but do not dictate. Dictators never end well in this world. So let me know what you think. If you agree, if you disagree, I would love to hear from you. Especially if you disagree, make a video and let me know why. Let me have all your comments down below. As always, I wasn't going to make a video today. If this is the first video of mine that you've watched and you like it, or you want to have a look at the other stuff, I'm sure you'll find it elsewhere. There are quite a few now. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It's always great to see you in the numbers. So for now, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.